Hebrews. This is Prophets of Awakening, and this is our Women's Advanced Bible Study night, 21st of March, 2024. We'll be picking up the book of Jeremiah later on in the class. This will be our topic for discussion. Okay, you can go to your YouTube channel, The Prophets of Awakening, and check out our videos. We have a bunch of videos, over 900 or so uh, videos. It's a lot of information given, and the videos will connect dots for you and lead you into the truth of the Holy Scriptures. And if you like what you're hearing and receiving, I'm asking you to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. It'll be greatly appreciated. And for those that feel the need to support the channel to help move it along, we have Cash App at the bottom of the screen. Okay. Our hours that we are in operation on YouTube is Monday through Thursday. We on at 7 to 9 Central Time, and then on Fridays we on Clubhouse, and the Clubhouse room is now Messianic Conversations. We come on from 7 to 9 off our men's advanced Bible study. Then we come together twice on the Shabbat. In the morning, we come at 10 to 12 a.m. Central Time. And then we have an evening Shabbat to close out the Sabbath. That's at 6 to 7 every Saturday evening, close out the Shabbat. Okay? So with that being said, we have a moment of silence. We have prayer. We read the Psalms. We have our women's health moment. We have the current events, a little need to know information, and then we open up for some Q&A and a little dialogue, and then we'll go into our topic, which is we were picking up where we left off last week, reading out of the book of Jeremiah and breaking it down as we go. Okay, so this moment of silence is for the Lord of hosts and all that he's doing to bring about our prophesied deliverance in these last days. Oh Lord, we come this day praising thee and worshiping thee for thy might and thy power and thy great understanding. Oh Lord, give us strength and wisdom to endure all that thou hast foretold. Give us, O Lord, the knowledge to rightly divide thy word, that it is delivered in righteousness and in truth. There is a great confusion among your inheritors, O Lord, now that you are awakening them. For I know, O Lord, that your hand is sure and that your hand is firm. O Lord, we need you so very much in these last days, and we will tarry and depend upon you, O Lord, because there is none else besides you to deliver us. You are our Redeemer and our deliverer. Peace be unto you. Okay, we're going to read the Psalms.
Yes. Shalom, everyone. I'll be reading Psalms 33. Rejoice in the Lord, O ye righteous, for praise is comely for the upright. Praise the Lord with the harp. Sing unto him with the psaltery and an instrument of 10 strings. Sing unto him a new song. Play skillfully with a loud noise. For the word of the Lord is right, and all his works are done in truth. He loveth righteousness and judgment, and the earth is full of the goodness of the Lord. By the word of the Lord were the heavens made, and all the host of them by the breath of his mouth. He gathereth the waters of the sea together as a heap. He layeth up the depth in storehouses. Let all the earth fear the Lord. Let all the inhabitants of the world stand in awe of him. For he spake, and it was done. He commanded, and it stood fast. The Lord bringeth the counsel of the heathen to naught. He maketh the devices of the people of none effect. The counsel of the Lord standeth forever, the thoughts of his heart to all generations. Blessed is the nation whose God is the Lord, and the people whom he hath chosen for his own inheritance. The Lord looketh from heaven, he beholdeth all the sons of men. From the place of his habitation, he looketh upon all the inhabitants of the earth. He fashioneth their hearts alike, and considereth all their works. There is no king saved by the multitude of a host. A mighty man is not delivered by much strength. A horse is a vain thing for safety, neither shall he deliver any by his great strength. Behold, the eye of the Lord is upon them that fear him, upon them that hope in his mercy, to deliver their soul from death and to keep them alive in famine. Our soul waiteth for the Lord. He is our help and our shield. For our heart shall rejoice in him, because we have trusted in his holy name. Let thy mercy, O Lord, be upon us, according as we hope in thee. That was Psalms 33. Shalom.
Okay. Anybody have any comments on what you just heard? You want to make a comment on it? Okay. Appreciate that reading of Psalms 33. We're going to do our women's health moment.
Yes, sir. Shalom, everyone. Please know that the information that is shared is intended for general, informational, and educational purposes only and is not medical advice or recommended treatment. Tonight's discussion is on herbal medicines and 7 simple remedies you can start using today. Herbal medicines are natural compounds from plants, leaves, bark, roots, seeds, or flowers that people can use for medicinal purposes, which date back thousands of years, even before the invention of conventional medicines. It's easy to be overwhelmed by all the home remedies out there. So tonight we will talk about the simplest remedies with common ingredients like honey, lemon, basil, and more. A simple remedy for a common symptom. There is a good reason why so many throat medications have honey and lemon as ingredients. It's one of the best simple remedies for a sore throat. So, mix a tablespoon of raw honey, 2 teaspoons of fresh lemon juice, and 4 teaspoons of water. Heat for 1 minute and drink warm. This is a great remedy for common symptoms. Fresh basil leaves as an anti-acid remedy. If heartburn is an everyday struggle for you, having a basil plant in your kitchen might do the trick. Chewing a couple of fresh basil leaves after a meal can help. Remember that this only works with fresh basil leaves. This remedy may help relieve excess acid production in the stomach. Peppermint oil. Peppermint oil is good for irritable bowel syndrome, abdominal pain, indigestion, and tension headaches. Magnesium-rich foods for PMS. There are many simple natural remedies for PMS. You can even avoid severe cramping symptoms of PMS if you consume enough magnesium every day, a week before your cycle. Foods high in magnesium include almonds, sunflower seeds, and green vegetables. We all know about aloe. Aloe. Aloe is a very soothing remedy for healing wounds such as treating sores and burns. It is a gel derived from an aloe vera plant that contains anti-inflammatory agents that can help accelerate wound healing. Make sure you use pure aloe and not the fragrance version. Use pure aloe. 100% aloe is good for healing. Hiccups. Hiccup remedy, you may be surprised, apple cider vinegar. There are so many remedies for hiccups, and it can be a challenge to get rid of hiccups. We have heard of common ways like scaring someone, holding your breath, or even drinking water fast to get rid of hiccups, which we all might have tried. However, this simple remedy might be the most effective. Drinking a couple sips of apple cider vinegar has been known to relieve hiccups fast. Ginger. Ginger is mild for upset stomachs, nausea from pregnancy and chemotherapy, and menstrual cramps. So consider the benefits of trying a more plant-based approach by choosing herbal remedies. You cut out tens, if not hundreds, of pharmaceuticals and chemicals. I'm going to read Proverbs chapter 24, verses 13 through 16. My son, eat thy honey, because it is good, and the honeycomb, which is sweet to thy taste. So shall the knowledge of wisdom, be unto thy soul when thou hast found it. Then there shall be a reward, and and thy expectation shall not be cut off. Lay not wait, O wicked man, against the dwelling of the righteous. Spoil not the resting place. For a just man falleth 7 times and riseth up again, but the wicked shall fall into mischief. Tonight's discussion was on herbal medicines and seven simple remedies you can start using today. And I read Proverbs chapter 24, verses 13 through 16. Shalom.
Okay. Appreciate that information. I can stand as a witness for that aloe vera plant, because it's coming up. I had like eczema, I guess you call it, and I put my mom put that aloe vera plant on there. She kept them around and knock it out every time. Yeah, so it actually worked for a lot of other things too. It's
Yes,
almost
sir.
like,
I was really surprised by the apple cider vinegar. I did not know that at all about the hiccups in apple cider vinegar.
right. That apple cider vinegar is a good tenderizer too for me. Is that something?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes,
we in
sir.
our, we in our current events. Okay, we have some current events right here. This right here shouldn't be no surprise.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. It is a lovely afternoon. I have a very, very interesting topic that I'm going to dive right into. Of course, you know, I feel like all of these topics are interesting. This one is quite interesting, though, because something very major is happening. Family, something very major. I don't know if you're paying attention, but if you're not, you better. Something major is happening. This country is headed down a road that is not going to be favorable for a lot of people. I know I haven't been before you all too much in recent days. Busy on the farm. Look at those people right there. They're busy on the farm too. They don't look like you and I, though. They are busy on the farm. Let me tell you all what's going on. You are being replaced for migrant SLAVE labor. U.S. companies are firing Americans and hiring immigrants. Now, I have a whole lot of things I can say about this in different directions, not just from one standpoint. Huh? I want my moderators to look out for ignorance in the chat. I'm already starting to see some of that showing up. Ain't no feminism happening. Feminism ain't got nothing to do with this deal. That's your ignorance talking, okay? So if you can't dish it, if you can't take it, don't dish it. What I'm talking about has absolutely nothing to do with feminism. That's the go-to statement for a lot of dudes, y'all. And guess what? I'm on my channel. I'm on my channel. So some people feel like I shouldn't even say things like that because he's a man and you're a woman. Stay in your lane. Guess what? Redirecting Proverbs 31 School of Wisdom is my lane. Okay? So again, DEL, this has nothing to do with feminism. So I'm going to get right into the topic. Dive right in. So right now, I feel like America has a very, very strategic thing. Very strategic thing that they're doing. Now, of course, like I said, I have more than one topic. Not topic, more than one position on this topic. Okay? I have more than one position on this topic. So my first position is this. You have these companies who claim to love America. They have created a comfortable way for them to slap you in the face, rip your job right out from under you, and hand it off to somebody who is not even a legal citizen. So before I dive into this, I want you all to listen to this brief report. It's telling you exactly what's going on. Huh? It's telling you exactly what's going on. Now, I mentioned to you all before that we know of an area where they just threw up a bunch of units for migrants. I mean, you can't even get that for citizens who've been here. You know, they ain't even throwing them up. Now, get this. These migrants get to stay there rent-free. So right now, this capitalist country is showing its hand. They're basically saying bottom line, bottom dollar is all we care about, not the citizens, not your feelings, not your families, not your desires. All we care about is the bottom line. All we care about is our profit margin, the growth of our company. That's it. You know, your family, forget about it. Anyway, let's take a listen at this report. Those of you under the sound of my voice, take a listen at this. And it's going to give you a rundown of what is happening and how people feel about it. There's actually one town in particular that was so happy about this one company coming in to their town. That company is now shutting the whole thing down, getting rid of 1,200 jobs and opening up more than 50,000, the same company, 50,000 to migrants. How you like them apples? Anyway, take a listen at this, and of course, you know I will be right back.
Healthy habits never tasted this good. Joseph?
Iowa is one of the great American suburbs. Quaint shops on the main boulevard, local produce sections at the grocery store, and pristine parks sprinkled throughout the town. It reached a golden era in the 60s and 70s when Tyson Foods opened up its pork factory and revolutionized the town's economy. It's a relatively small town with strong values and a very close-knit community.
I just think it's a friendly community, and if you are willing to put out a little effort, I think everyone makes you feel welcome.
Would you consider Perry a good place to grow?
Definitely. I am really pro Perry. I like the small town atmosphere. You get to know people. You walk down the street, they say hi to you. If you need help, you know, you turn to that kind of thing.
But Perry, Iowa is about to change drastically, and not for the better. This week, Tyson Foods announced that it will be permanently closing its pork factory in Perry, killing around 1,200 jobs in a town of just 8,000 people. So as Perry residents struggle to cope with mass layoffs, Tyson Foods has its eyes on a different class of workers. The company is now offering new jobs to asylum seekers in other states like New York. Bloomberg says Tyson's tracking migrants in a massive database. They scroll through the data like Facebook. You see a worker you like, tap, hire. They even had a job fair.
So you were at a Tyson fair in New York City not so long ago where Tyson was basically making this pitch. What did you observe when you went there?
They created a database for these new asylum seekers in New York City. So these people would come in, they'd learn a little bit about the company, and for the most part, Tyson had already gone through their various details of their application. And so many of them, 17 the day I was there, and then another 70 a couple weeks later, went off to Tennessee to go start their new jobs as Tyson production workers.
Oh, and the jobs come with perks, not just health insurance. Tyson's also offering lawyers to its illegal alien workers and time off to attend immigration hearings. In 2034, of course, they're firing Americans and offering perks to illegals. This was the Democrat plan all along.
Well, first of all, let's just say we are a nation of immigrants. 460,000 open jobs today. Wow. I have 5,000 farm jobs that I need filled so we can plant. They need crops.
Vegetables would rot in the ground if it weren't if they weren't being picked by many immigrants, many illegal immigrants.
You see, even in Florida, some of the farmers and the growers saying, why are you shipping these immigrants up north? We need them to pick the crops.
We reached out to Tyson for comment, and they said they have a very diverse set of employees, and they're proud of it. Ohio Senator and author of Hillbilly Elegy, J.D. Vance, joins us now. I didn't think it was legal, Senator, to axe American workers and hire en masse illegal aliens.
Well, it shouldn't be, Jesse, and we're certainly going to look into whether we can change that, assuming Tyson is operating legally, which we don't even know if they are. We don't know the details of this. All we know, Jesse, is that they are firing American workers and hiring illegal aliens to replace them. This is the entire point of illegal immigration, and Republicans, we've got to hammer this point home. It reduces the wages of American workers by replacing American citizens with foreign laborers who are willing to work at slave wages. It has been the plan, as you said from the beginning, and what this means is the eradication of the American dream. Every time an American is replaced with an illegal immigrant, it means that an American family loses a good family supporting wage. It means that...
Okay, anybody got any comments on that? Anybody heard anything about that?
Shalom. I did. In Iowa, they hired 52,000 workers.
Okay.
They laid off right after a layoff, a major layoff for Tyson. Then they went and hired them, and they have people picketing, and it's just crazy the way they did those people.
Okay. Anybody else?
Yes, sir. Shalom, everyone. Brother Leonard, did you hear when he said we don't know much about what's going on? All we know is that they're laying off, the Americans to bring in the immigrants, right? How much more do you need to know? Okay. Right. It just, yes, sir. It makes,
you saying
yes, right. Yes, sir. No, I was, the HR department was saying that these people are just trying to fit in. They just, need work, and they're giving the positions to people that want to work. Like, who has been working in this factory, which has been open for 61 years?
Right.
Like, it's making no sense to me. And I don't even know how that is really legal. You can fire, all these Americans, but then bring in the immigrants like it's nothing. I just can't see that that's being a legal tactic they are doing.
Oh, yeah, right. Like I say, it's the same people that brought us over here and worked us for the hell out of us for nothing. So they got loopholes.
Right. So they're gonna, they're saying, we can pay these people less money than what we're already paying out. And that's more money coming back to the company and more money going into the higher management pockets.
Right.
They're going to bring in the immigrants. And of course, we know that they're going to pay them less.
Right. Right. I was sitting there thinking about earlier today how greedy, how greedy these people are, like with this so-called inflation or whatever, or just like when an emergency take place, they so greedy. The first thing they want to do is start jacking up all the prices, and then everybody else do it. You know what I mean? It's not some kind of format that happens. It's just that when the opportune time comes, they start jacking their prices up because of the next man just like them. They start jacking their prices up. And there can be, you can have loyal customers you've been dealing with for years, or got a family tradition, but you don't give a damn. You're going to jack the prices up anyway. Knowing that you're going to know it don't mean nothing except that you're going to get you being greedy, because you already have your prices set for what you're going to make off of it. But because the next man jack his prices up, you jack yours up. That's crazy.
Shalom.
Okay.
As we were listening, and they were saying about the farmers, they're taking those people away from the farmers to pick their crops and what have you, and it's, putting them in factories. So what happens with the crops? Um, and then they also mention about tents, making them housing areas. So supplying them with places to sleep and live. Again, there's homeless people who don't have places to live, but yet though they pick those to put homes, give them somewhere to live. And then by giving them the job, what they probably do is have them somewhere to live. They're basically going to be working for free because they're going to have to pay for where they're living, and the money that they make, they have to pay for where they're living. So they're just, even though it's not a lot, they're still doing that to them. But us as citizens of the United States, they want either them to start migrating overseas or try to get away, or because what they're going to do with the people that's laid off now. There were 12,000 people laid off. So where are they going to find a job? Go ahead.
No, I was getting ready to say, like Brother Leonard said, when they brought us over here, the same thing was done, right? We were stuck in these jobs that no one else wanted to do, right? So, and they was paying us pennies. So we look at, they're bringing the immigrants over here now, right? Sticking them in these jobs where they really don't want to pay any money. They're saying last year they lost like 128 billion or whatever. Not that I really care because I don't eat pork, but just saying that they're saying they lost that much money. So they're trying to get back on top. So I look at it as though they're looking at it like, hey, this is my company. I can do what I want to do. Forget the regulations or whatever. HR, figure out a reason, how can we get around this? How can we fire everybody we have in here, bring in the immigrants, and pay them less?
Right, exactly.
Right, but through the layoffs, because they have a right to lay them off, and that they have a right to bring them back or not. So that would be that loophole that they would take to lay them off and give the others a job. And like you said, yes, y'all said that, they're doing the same thing when they brought the slaves, made slaves. They're not beating them. They're not trying to kill them. They're giving them a better chance than they did us when they brought us, our ancestors, over. They didn't
Right. So
have those
do
things
you
to.
really, Sister Cheryl, do you really think that they care about what's happening to the people that they're laying off?
No, they're not. They're
They
not.
don't.
So the whole thing about that, my thought is that where are they going to be now, or do they want them to turn to violence, stealing, killing, so they can put them in the prisons? Where can all these here? I mean, 12,000 people at one time are, boom, don't have a job. Close down the plant and then reopen it somewhere else. Where are those people going to be? That's the whole thing. And their governors, the mayors, even the senator of that state where they did it at, don't even care.
Exactly.
And then those immigrants, some may be wanting to work, but some of them probably came over to do violence, came over to escape from going to jail or whatever. They don't know their background. They don't know anything about them, and they say they vetted them. How can they vet them when they just got here?
Right. And the bottom line is greed. That's the way I look at it. It's just greed. They don't care what happens to the 12,000 or 6,000, even 20,000 that they laid off. As long as they're still eating and gaining, it's all good.
Exactly.
Yes,
Yeah,
you're
that's
right.
yeah, they operate. Yeah, that's how they operate. Like I said, they don't care. I mean, when you understand who's behind it, who set this system up, these people consider like I said, everything they do, they done reversed it. They done reversed the understanding. We saw where the Lord said that, was talking to the prophet, and he said that the nations which are the Gentiles and the nations, are like spittle. They don't mean nothing to him. Well, these people, the so-called Israelites, Jews that's in the land now, that's how they see us. As spittle. That's nothing. They call it, they got a word, gohim, whatever, gohim is what they call us. So they don't see us as, they see us like cattle. The same way they did with the transatlantic slave trade. That was the reason, the way they did in the transportation of getting us over here. They put us in the bottom, all piled up in the bottom, because they had no respect for us as people, as a people. They don't see us as humans. It's not just us, the nations. It's about them progressing at our expense. That's what it's all about.
Shalom, and I want to end it with this here. These factories, all these things, the product, machinery, they were invented by blacks. They were invented, a lot of things that they're using, now they turn it around and use it against all workers, because here you are with an invention making money off it, took the name from them and laying them off or getting rid of them, because a lot of those products, a lot of those machineries and things like that were invented by blacks. So again, they're doing double deal and dirty work.
Okay. We got another one right here.
Thank you for staying up late with us. We appreciate you tonight, and we have some great topics and issues to talk about. Now, the sky's the limit if you don't stop reaching for that dream. We learned that from our next guest. Tyrone Jacobs is one of NASA's newest engineers, and his official headshot for the agency has gone viral on Twitter, aka X, and around the country. A lot of people have been praising the picture because of how Jacobs is proudly rocking his locks in that photo. But there's much more to Jacobs than just his hair. He's overcome a lot in his own personal life to get here where he is now. He joins us on the studio tonight on The Factor Uncensored. Good to see you, sir. And congratulations.
Thank you.
So when you posted that photo, did you ever expect to get the response you did?
Not at all. When I posted it, I thought I would get, a little bit of love, some congratulations. This is a nice picture. You look nice. Yeah, like a little bit. But to see it going and where it went now in present day, like I totally did not expect it. And it's a very overwhelming feeling. I'm still overwhelmed. Like I can't even process. There's no words in the dictionary to process what the feeling is on the inside. Like I can't pick a word.
And of course, you realize that many people are praising you not only for your accomplishments, but what we can see on the exterior of your hair.
Yes, sir.
Because as Black people, that has been a problem for many of us. That's why we have the Crown Act here in Texas, so people can wear their locks at work.
Oh yeah, and that's a big part of my life story, and the theme of my life story is being yourself, being who you are, being authentic, being true to you. And don't compromise who you are for anybody or anything, right? And so I had to learn that. And so I just wanted to show people, hey, you can be yourself. You can be tall. You can be Black. You can have locks. You can have a low cut if you want. Whatever you want to do, just be who you are and be genuinely and authentically you.
Absolutely. Now, you grew up in what? Toledo, Ohio, right?
Yes, yeah.
And of course, you grew up with a single mother.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Tough life, but you made it here today. Tell us a little bit about that life. That journey you took.
So single mom. My dad was incarcerated in prison and in jail, and so it was very rough. I grew up in poverty, so I'm used to EBT, food stamps, WIC, honey sandwiches. Stuff that people wouldn't even fathom in their brains. So for me, it started out very, very hard and adverse, but I knew that God had a bigger calling on my life. I just didn't know what that calling looked like just yet. And so he had to basically guide my steps to get there. But early on, it was extremely rough. A lot of my childhood friends and people that I grew up with they're dead or they're in prison. They're serving life sentences. They'll never come home. And so I come from this type of background. So looking at me today, you wouldn't really guess that unless I told you.
Right.
So that's why I try to craft my message and my story around the bad things and the hardships, because I personally believe I've had more darkness in my life than I've had light or success. But looking at me, you would think it's the opposite way. Mm-hmm. And so I want people to know that no matter what you go through, no matter what you endure, no matter what challenges come your way, mentally, emotionally, financially, spiritually, whatever the challenge is, you can get through it, you can overcome it, and greater days are ahead.
And you said back as a kid, I think you were in the fifth or sixth grade, or 5 or 6 years old.
Yeah.
You ran into a guy who saw you with your backpack.
Yeah.
Walking down the street, and he said, "You're going to be someone."
That's right.
The guy eventually died, but that stuck with you.
Yeah, it stuck with me. Yeah, he ended up. He was actually fresh out of jail, trying to get his life together, and he ended up being killed like a month later after that, and that was very saddening and unfortunate to hear. But yeah, it was one day I was getting off the school bus, walking home. He was outside. He saw me, pulled me to the side. He said, "Hey man, like you need to stay away from this stuff over here." Mm-hmm. But I see something in you. Like you're going to be something. I don't know what it is. I don't know what you're going to be. But I can look at you right now and tell one day you're going to become something. And he ended up passing away. So I never let that message, go away from or be far away from my mind and my heart. I always kept it with me. So.
And when you get a message like that as a kid, are you hoping at some point in your life, and I don't know if you're doing it now, to mentor to other young kids who may be, facing a difficult struggle growing up in their community or in life?
Yeah, so I find mentoring extremely huge and a very integral part of my success today, because I didn't get here completely by myself. I mean, I don't call myself a self-made man or a self-made person. I'm a God-made man, a God-made person. So God, he ordained all of my steps, and I just have to follow it. So for me, I've had a lot of people pour into me over the years. And so I really value mentorship, and I definitely do that with kids and babies and toddlers and stuff like that today. I mean, I am a speaker, motivational speaker, so I go into different schools, high schools, elementaries, universities, colleges. As long as there's a body in the seat, I'm there. I love to help the kids and help the youth, reach big and dream big.
And for those who are wondering exactly, obviously you're an engineer at NASA, UT graduate. What do you do for those who are like, what does an engineer, and we know, we know what an astronaut does,
right,
and
right.
We know what we think is a scientist, what they will do. Right. And what do you do at?
Yeah, it's funny because I laugh about this all the time. It's also very hard for me to really explain what I do because it's such a specialized field, and so even though I've been in it for some time, I'm still learning like what I do, even though I've been doing it for years. But the best way for me to explain it without getting too technical or too, I guess, deep into it is my team is responsible for making sure that space and satellite hardware are tested and qualified to survive a life cycle or a life's mission in space, in orbit. And so all of the hardware that comes through, we have to make sure it's tested, make sure it's qualified to various military, NASA standards, government standards, military standards. So when these parts are installed into rocket ships, spaceships, government vehicles, military vehicles, etc., and they go into space, those parts will be able to survive the space mission. So we have to basically simulate the space environment here on this orbit, on the lower orbit on Earth before they go into space.
Way above my pay grade, literally and figuratively.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay. Any comments on that?
Shalom,
Okay.
everyone. That's something where they came up with the Crown Act in Texas, right? And I think now, I'm not sure when it is. I can't remember where they're going to court where this young black boy was suspended from school because he would not cut off his locks. And I think his court date is coming up soon because they did not go by the Crown Act that Abbott had put into law that he signed last year. So the thing is that they were saying what they have a problem with is the texture of our hair.
Okay.
And the protective styles such as braids and locks and things like that, that I'm not, again, they are just totally against us because really it's out of jealousy. We can do anything. We can wear afro, we can wear braids, we can wear locks, and it's going to look nice. They can't do that.
Right.
So
Right.
they have a problem with that. But yes, and he's out of Houston, the young black boy that got suspended from school because he, refused to cut his locks, and they have to go to court behind that. It's
Right.
ridiculous.
Oh yeah, right. That was my point a couple of weeks ago when I made a statement about you're not giving a damn, because of the thing is, what I noticed, like right now with Creator and all the hosts waking us up as Hebrew Israelites, a lot of people not being awakened because they so bent on worrying about what they doing and how they gonna perceive it. Whenever and it has nothing to do with nothing. Which, like, I was watching a video where the sister was showing all the different types of us as a people because of our hair, because of our texture. We can pretty much we can be a signboard because we can make all different types of styles with our hair. And then you go back to Israel and even to ancient Egypt. Those hairs, different hairstyles that you see different people was wearing was a class, a certain class of people. They wore their hair a certain type of way. You can tell what class or what tribe they was in because of the way they wore their hair. They can't do that. And so anyway, so get all the way down to the day, and then to tell some black kid, whether it's a girl or a boy, that they can't wear they have a certain way at school, it don't have shit to do with them. It ain't their hair. So why would you sit around worrying about what the hell they talking about? Just like once you figure out who JC is. I don't give a damn if you don't care, that you got a problem with me not dealing with JC. I can care less. But you see so many people today, they can't line up or get right because they're so concerned about how these people perceive them. And that's crazy. Oh, yeah. Anybody else got any comments on that? Okay, this is my need to know information right here.
In the global market dates back to the Bretton Woods Conference in 1944, which established the dollar as the world's primary reserve currency linked to gold. Over the decades, this status has allowed the U.S. to wield considerable economic power. Critics argue that the U.S. has at times misused this power, imposing economic sanctions and influencing international economic policies in ways that serve its interests, often at the expense of other nations' economies and sovereignty. For example, through economic sanctions, the U.S. has influenced the policies of countries like Iran and Russia, impacting their economies significantly. The dollar's role in global trade and finance has given the U.S. an unparalleled advantage in international affairs, but it has also led to criticisms of unilateralism and the exertion of economic pressure that bypasses traditional diplomatic channels. In recent years, there has been a noticeable shift as countries increasingly seek alternatives to the U.S. dollar's hegemony in the global financial system. This movement, often referred to as de-dollarization, is driven by a desire to reduce dependence on the U.S. financial system and is spearheaded by China and the BRICS bloc, which includes Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, with new members like Iran, UAE, Saudi Arabia, Ethiopia, and Egypt joining the fold.
Okay.
Before we proceed, we encourage you to consider liking the video to show your support for our channel. Additionally, we invite you to share your thoughts in the comments and examine the efforts by China and the Global South, particularly the BRICS countries, to challenge the US dollar's supremacy. The dominance of the US dollar dates back to the aftermath of World War I, escalating with the Bretton Woods Agreement in 1944. This agreement pegged global currencies to the US dollar, which was itself linked to gold. Over the years, the US has utilized its currency's dominance to exert economic influence globally, often using sanctions as a tool to influence international policies. However, the unilateral nature of these actions has spurred the search for alternatives. Russia and China have been at the forefront of de-dollarization efforts, particularly in the wake of economic sanctions imposed on Russia. The ruble-yuan trade has seen a significant increase, and both countries are exploring the creation of a cryptocurrency backed by gold. Moreover, there's a growing trend among central banks, especially in Russia and China, to diversify their reserves away from the dollar and towards gold and other currencies. The BRICS bloc is also exploring the use of national currencies in bilateral trade to lessen reliance on the dollar. The move towards de-dollarization within the BRICS bloc notably advanced in 2014 when Russia began developing its own financial messaging system, SPFS, in response to US sanctions. This system aimed to offer an alternative to SWIFT, lessening Russia's vulnerability to US financial actions. Concurrently, China has been promoting its cross-border interbank payment system, CIPS, to facilitate international transactions in the renminbi, aiming to bypass SWIFT and reduce reliance on the US dollar in global trade and finance. The New Development Bank, NDB, established by BRICS, is increasingly focusing on funding projects in member countries' national currencies. National currencies in global finance and the strategic economic maneuvers by leading powers to assert dominance. Despite the challenges, the yuan's increased use in cross-border transactions within China is an important milestone on the journey to de-dollarization. As we shift our attention to the BRICS bloc, we see an intensified effort towards de-dollarization, particularly with the inclusion of new members such as Iran, UAE, Saudi Arabia, Ethiopia, and Egypt. One of the key strategies has been the New Development Bank's initiative to increase local currency usage in lending and fundraising operations. The aim here is to mitigate the risks associated with foreign exchange fluctuations and reduce dependence on the US dollar. Discussions around a common BRICS currency further underscore the group's desire to move away from the dollar.
Yeah, so we see this big move, this big increase to that these other countries are attacking the dollar. And so if you go back, I was talking about how the Lord of Hosts said that after the flood, he said that seed time and harvest was never again was he going to interrupt seed time and harvest. So, a lot of people see that as seed time, as in the fruit trees and the seeds you put in the ground, but you also have seeds of wickedness and righteous seeds and wicked ass seeds that people sow. And so this dollar, if you go back to its history, they kept, even to where Africa is now, parts of Africa, you got people starving to death, kids with big bellies can't eat. And then look at what's going on in Haiti. They use the dollar, they finagle the dollar to cause Haiti to be in the state that it's in. A lot of people don't know the extremes they went to the reason Haiti is where it's at. And it's all because of they kicked their butt back in the day when they overthrew the French government, Napoleon. And so they make sure they make a point to denigrate anything that's got to do with Haitians. So all you see now is what they done is coming back on them. They sold those seeds back in the day for the dollar to even be where it's at. It's wicked as hell. So it's just coming back. Same seeds they sowed, they reaping now. Okay. In the comments. Okay, we'll open it up for some questions and comments. Anybody have any comments about anything, dialogue they want to talk about, or they good on? Something they came across? Okay.
Shalom.
Okay.
I'm sorry, excuse me, sir. Shalom. I do, Brother Leonard. I have 2 questions, and just kind of want them explained a little bit, sort of confused on them. The first one was on the term dowry, DOWRY. If you could explain what that means. I found some information on it in Genesis mostly, and then throughout the other books also, but just kind of want to get an understanding of that.
Okay. What you get in Genesis?
The first one will be in Genesis chapter 24.
Okay.
Genesis chapter 24. Starting in, this one is pretty long, 22 through 53. And then Genesis 34 and 12. I'll go to that one since that one is shorter.
Okay.
Genesis 34, verse 12.
You gonna read it?
Yes, sir. Verse 12, it says, ask me never so much dowry and gift, and I will give according as ye shall say unto me. But give me the damsel to wife. That was in reference when Dana got defiled.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And so it's two understandings to diary. You got a diary, but people keep they keep records of what they do, and from day to day, from year to year, people keep a diary of the things they do. Then you have a diary, from what you read in Genesis is pertaining to the woman, what she the things that she possessed, like just like with in Israel, in the Israelite culture, the firstborn son, he has the right. He the one has the right to everything in that family, in that lineage. When the father passed, everything is allotted to him. That's a dowry. That's a dowry, and then it's on him whether it's given to somebody else or not. Like for example, Esau sold his. He didn't care about his dowry. His dowry. He didn't care, so he sold it to Jacob. So when you understand that's a Hebrew concept, right? But they got hold to it. The nations, especially Esau, like I said, Esau was raised by Jacob. So when you go to and understand how Esau got to where he is today, with pretty much all the wealth of the world, he would go into those European countries, and those they would get their daughters and their sons to marry rich aristocratic people. And how they did it was they would go and get access to their dowry, and know what they was worth, what belonged to them. A prime example is let me see what the guy's name is. Julius Caesar. Julius Caesar wasn't shit until, and you gotta understand he's an Edomite. So he married the guy, I can't think of his name, but he married his daughter because his daughter she was wealthy. She had a wealthy dowry. So Julius Caesar married her. Let me see what that guy's name is. He's a famous general. Anyway, so Julius Caesar married her, and then from there he got wealth. He got money on his feet with his ambitions, and then he asked her daddy, being that he was a general, famous general for 3 legions, and that's how he became famous. He married the woman, and then he turned around and he got those legions, and you see it all over, especially in Europe with those Jews. They would send their sons in to marry. When you start talking about the duchess of this and the duchess of that, they would send them in to marry into those families, and then eventually they consume the wealth of that family. Next thing you know, that family, they got the wealth. They would even send a son in and marry the daughter out of that family, and then send the daughter in to marry the son out of that family. And next thing you know, they got all the money, the wealth. And that's what that is. But like I said, a lot of those things we don't understand, and it has nothing to do with being in love. They got a plan. They got a plan to gain wealth, a plan to do such, wicked, really is wicked ass stuff, but they would obtain wealth by doing that. And that's how they, when you understand who Esau was, he was more or less mulatto. And then after they married into all those families in Europe, that's the reason they look the way they look today, because of that. That make any sense?
Yes, sir.
Right. So it says two types of, you got a dowry, then you have a dowry. In Israelite culture too, that I don't know if anybody's familiar with it, about you got the bride and the groom, and they go into the room for him. The father objective was because of what happened to Eve, what the serpent did with Eve, and got something to do with Dana too, which you just mentioned. But so that male, the father of the household, and the boys too, they're responsible for that girl being a virgin when she get married. They got extreme extra care. They got to watch over those girls, that they don't get defiled. And so at the bridal chamber, when they get married, it's a man standing there at the door. He has to wait. When he goes in, consummate the relationship, if she a virgin, he's gonna break her hymen. When he break her hymen, then she shed blood. So the husband, the bride, got a napkin or a white cloth, whatever, I don't know what they call it, and he has to get that blood on that cloth. Then you take it to the door, give it to the guy at the door, and then the guy at the door go to the parents, because they standing there to make sure, and then they got to witness that she was a virgin by the blood that's on the rag, the blood that's on the cloth, and that's kept. That's kept with all her belongings, which is one of the major things she has to have. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I remember, I can't remember the name of this movie, but like you said, they turned everything around, right? So
Right.
It was a movie about that, but all of them was standing in the room,
right,
watching them. I can't remember the name of that movie.
Right. I think it was a comedy. I think it was sort of kind of comical, but they were serious.
Right.
Right. Yeah. I think I remember watching that too. Yeah. But yeah, all that play a part. Like when you understand it, it's all Hebrew. It's all part of our culture. They just took it for themselves and incorporated themselves. A prime example is the Declaration of Independence. So that comes out of Israel. Okay. Yeah. So you good?
I have one more question, please, sir.
Okay.
In the book of Enoch, chapter 69,
okay,
verse 7, and the third was named Gadriel. He it is who showed the children of men all the blows of death, and he led astray Eve, and showed the weapons of death to the sons of men, the shield and the coat of mail, Mail, and the sword for battle, and all the weapons of death to the children of men. So I was trying to find out who this Gadriel was, right? And I got two different answers saying that this Gadriel was actually Satan. And then the other information I found was that Satan tricked this angel.
Okay.
And that is how he got in the garden.
Okay.
So I was trying to get some understanding. That was Enoch chapter 69, verse 7. And the name was Gadreel.
Right. So go to Azazel. You know what they said in the it's in the first, I think it's chapter 1. Let me look with you. Look at
Azazel.
Azazel. You know what that is, right?
Yes, sir. It's in
should be in chapter 1. I mean chapter 2, somewhere in there. Yeah, here it is. chapter 8.
Okay.
You got it?
Yes, sir, I'm there.
What did it say?
Chapter 8 and 1. And Aziel taught men to swords and knife and shields and breastplates, and made known to them the metals of the earth and the art of working them, and bracelets and ornaments, and the use of anatomy and the beautifying of the eyelids, and all the kinds of costly stones, and all coloring textures.
Okay. So on the Day of Atonement in Israel, once a year they have to go into the Holy of Holies. And you got the king and the high priest. They have to go in there, and they have to bring 2 goats in the Day of Atonement. One of the goats is set free into the wilderness. They let him go into the wilderness. The high priest lay his hands on him, and then he let him go into the wilderness. And that's in accordance to and remembrance of what Aziel did right here. Aziel the one taught men to do war and all that. And then the other one, they have to kill him because he's the atonement. The blood of that goat is atonement for all the sins in Israel for that year. So, the reason I read this is, ain't this the same thing they saying Gadriel did?
Yes, sir.
So who done it? Did Gadriel do it or did Aziel do
it? Aziel.
Right. So something going on because both of them can't do it. Read what Gadriel did again.
He is who showed the children of men all the blows of death, and he led astray Eve and showed the weapons of death to the sons of men, the shield and the coat of mail, and the sword for battle, and all the weapons of death to the children of men.
See that? So somebody lying. So because Aziel done it, and the Most High says it's attributed. How we know it's true? He says it's attributed to Aziel for all the sins, all this stuff that he done is attributed to Aziel. How we know that? They let it go loose. They let it go in the wilderness loose every year on the Day of Atonement. It wasn't Gadriel. You see that?
Yes, sir. And I was referring back to that, back to the first part, right? And his name was not mentioned at all. And my first research that came up on him when I first it was he did not exist at all.
Exactly.
And then the next thing was he was actually Satan, and then after that it was that Satan tricked him. That's how he got in the garden.
Exactly.
Got it.
So the Bible tells us it was only 2 beings in the garden, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, yeah. So that's Europeans, these Edomites. Yeah.
Got it.
Okay.
Thank you.
So yeah. So anybody else got anything before we? Yeah, I just wanted to shine a light on something that it dawned on me. It was this morning. Matter of fact, we see how that Israel was in Egypt, right? And the Most High, they multiplied in Egypt. This is really how they became. When the Lord host came to Egypt, delivered the Israelites out of Egypt. There was a big multitude. So they was ready, like we was reading last night. He said that I found you in the wilderness. Didn't nobody give a damn about you, and I covered you in clothes and tended you like a mother do an infant, and I brought you in, and made you my wife, and made you a nation. So the Lord of hosts, when they came out of Egypt, he delivered them out of Egypt. They became a nation. Then from there, he made a covenant with David to be the king. And then every king that's on the throne that come out of David, that's on the throne of David, they come out of David lineage. Then not only did he do that, he did the same thing with Aaron. He made the high priest. Every high priest that's on the throne is, supposed to come out of Aaron's lineage. So I was looking at that, right? So when you understand, let me read it. I'm gonna read it so it makes some sense. So you read, you see what he done. He took him into Egypt, and it was nothing nobody could do to stop him from multiplying, because he was dead set on creating a kingdom, right? So if you go to Daniel right quick, and you'll see, and I'm thinking that's in chapter 10, it says, let me see. It might be chapter 8. Yeah, chapter 7. This is when Daniel did the ram and the eagle. I'm gonna pick it up in verse 25. It says, and he spake, just talking about the Antichrist. He spake great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High, and to think to change times, laws, and they shall be given unto his hands until a time, and dividing the time. But the judgment is set, right? It says, but the judgment is set, and they shall take away his dominion, and the vision of the evening and the morning. Let's see if I'm in the right place. Yeah, it says, chapter 7, verse 26 says, but the judgment is set, and they shall take away his dominion, and consume and destroy until the end. Then here it goes, 27. And the kingdom and the dominion and the greatness of the kingdom under the whole heavens shall be given unto the people of the saints of the Most High, whose kingdom is a everlasting kingdom, and all dominions shall serve and obey him. So the whole when you look at what he was doing in Egypt, and he multiplied them, we know how they was afflicting them, and the more he afflicted them, the more they grew. So he's trying to get a kingdom. That's the kingdom that eventually put David over. But my point is this: there was a kingdom before that. This story right here killed JC too, right? Because like I said, every opportunity I'm trying to chop JC head off, and the New Testament. So just like before the flood, he created Adam, right? Now we found out that Adam is Melchizedek is not a person name, a man name. Melchizedek is a title. Matter of fact, it's a king. He's a king of righteousness. That's what David was, king of righteousness. So Adam was the first Melchizedek. He the king. So Adam multiplied. So it's a kingdom. Adam got a kingdom, because the king of righteousness is Melchizedek. So when Adam died, Seth became Melchizedek, on and on, even to after the flood. Shem, when Abraham met Shem, Abraham was Melchizedek. So you say, what are you talking about? It was a kingdom. Every man started out with Adam, and every Melchizedek after that came out of Adam. Just like every king on the throne of David came out of David. Well, before the flood, it was the same thing. So look what he's doing. He done away with that. It was dissolved when the flood came. So all we looking at is he came back and built it back up. The same thing. And then put David on the throne. When David picked back up, the Melchizedek role. The kingdom that he's talking about right here in chapter 7, the kingdom going to be given back to the saints. This is a kingdom that started way back with Adam. Adam's seed multiplied and became a kingdom. And the king of righteousness, Melchizedek, was over it. Till it got to the point, to the end, when the flood came, only Melchizedek, which was Noah and his son Shem, got on the boat. So then now he started back again, to the point when he got to Jacob. He sent Jacob into Egypt with 70 souls. and multiplied them. They got the kingdom back. Then he came, put David on the throne. And every man after David that sit on his throne was out of his lineage. So it's nothing new under the sun. But my thing is this: you can't see none of that as long as you're dealing with JC in the New Testament. That's what the New Testament and that concept of the New Testament took away our understanding. We couldn't see those things. Okay? Any comments? Okay. That's just a golden nugget of something I was looking at this morning. But so where we start there in Jeremiah?
Chapter 24, sir.
Okay. Well, somebody want to start reading in 24? Pick it up from there. Jeremiah 24. Read a couple chapters.
Yes, sir, I can if nobody else wants to read.
24?
Yes, sir.
Okay. That's the good and bad fig, ain't it?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Jeremiah chapter 24. The Lord showed me, and behold, 2 baskets of figs were set before the temple, the Lord. After that, Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, had carried away captive Jeconiah, the son of Jehoiakim, king of Judah, and the princes of Judah with the carpenters and the smiths from Jerusalem, and had brought them to Babylon. 1 basket had very good figs, even like the figs that are first ripe, and the other basket had very naughty figs, which could not be eaten. They were so bad. Then said the Lord unto me, What seest thou, Jeremiah? And I said, Figs, the good figs, very good, and the evil, very evil, that cannot be eaten. They are so evil. Again, the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Thus saith the Lord, the God of Israel, like these good figs, so will I acknowledge them, that they are carried away captive of Judah, whom I have sent out of this place into the land of the Chaldeans for their good. For I will set my eyes upon them for good, and I will bring them again to this land, and I will build them and not pull them down. I will plant them and not pluck them up. Verse 7, and I will give them a heart to know me, that I am the Lord, and they shall be my people, and I will be their God. For they shall return unto me with their whole heart. And as the evil figs which cannot be eaten, they are so. Surely, thus said the Lord, so will I give Zedekiah, the king of Judah, and his princes, and the residue of Jerusalem that remain in this land, and them that dwell in the land of Egypt. And I will deliver them to be removed into all the kingdoms of the earth for their hurt, to be a reproach and a proverb and taunt and a curse in all places whither I shall drive them. And I will send the sword to the famine and the pestilence among them, till they be consumed from off the land that I have gave unto them and to their fathers. That was Jeremiah chapter 24.
Okay, so we see, so like I said, when you look at that, he got a remnant that he want to protect. So he sent the remnant out to, he allowed Nebuchadnezzar and his army to take the remnant out and take them to Babylon. Then he went to work on the wicked ass feed. And that's important. You have to understand that, because he did the same thing when they came out of Egypt in the wilderness. Once he separated the Israelites from the Egyptians, then he went to work on the wicked feed and got rid of them. And the same thing right here. Like I said before, it's, when you look at this right here, it's a basket of wicked, it's a basket of evil figs, and it's a basket of good figs. Well, you gotta have, it's 2 kings. You got to see the David that he had that went out, Jehoiakim. He went out, but you had a wicked king that the king of Egypt may change his name from to Zedekiah, and he's the wicked king in the land. It has nothing to do with the creator, because his sites is on Jehoiakim and his lineage. That's where Zerubbabel came from. So you got two kings ruling Judah. That's never happened before. Two kings over Judah. One is in captivity in Babylon, and the other one is reigning in Israel. And like he said in verses 9 and 10, he says, I will deliver them to be removed into all the kingdoms of the earth for their hurt, to be a reproach and a proverb and a taunt and a curse in all the places where I shall drive them. And I will send a sword and famine and pestilence among them till they be consumed from off the land that I gave unto them and to their fathers. So guess what? At this point right here in the Babylonian captivity, you had 2 baskets of feeds. But when you get down to when Antiochus came, they all was wicked as hell. One basket. He said that I look for a righteous man. I look for somebody, just like when he saw Noah. He looked and he found Noah. That's why he saved Noah and Shem and told him to get a male and a female from everybody else. But when the time came, when Antiochus came, what no good feed. What no remnant. So you see where we at. We're being driven out, but it's like he did these people into all parts of the earth. He first sent us, he was driven over into Africa, West Africa, and dwelled there until this prophecy caught up with us. And then from there, just like he did these people, slave ships came and got us, took us all over the place, took us to Panama, to Jamaica, Caribbeans, to South Africa, Canada, took us all over the place. And like he said right here, when we got to those places, I will deliver them to be removed into the kingdoms of the earth for their hurt. But the good figures for their good. So nothing good about us coming here. So it says, I will deliver them to be removed into the kingdoms of the earth for their hurt, to be a reproach, a proverb, a taunt, a curse in all the places where I shall drive them. That's where we at. We coming to the end of it, but we were driven out. Just like he did these people right here. That's what happened to us when Antiochus came. Any comments? Okay, somebody want to read 25?
Shalom. Jeremiah 25. The word that came to Jeremiah concerning all the people of Judah in the 4th year of Jehoiakim.
Shalom, I'll try it. Jeremiah 25. The word that came to Jeremiah concerning all the people of Judah in the 4th year of Jehoiakim, the son of Josiah, king of Judah, that was the 1st year of Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, the which Jeremiah the prophet spake unto all the people, speak unto all the people of Judah and to all the inhabitants of Jerusalem, saying, from the 13th year of Jehoiah is the son of Ammon, king of Judah, even unto this day, that this is 3 and 20th year. The word of the Lord has come unto me, and I have spoken unto you, rising early and speaking, but ye have not hearkened. And the Lord hath sent unto you all his servants, the prophets, rising early and sending them, but you have not hearkened, nor inclined your ear to hear. 5. They said, Turn ye again now, every one, from his evil ways, and from the evil of your doings, and dwell in the land that the Lord hath given unto you, and to your fathers forever and ever. 6. And go not after another gods to serve them, and to worship them, and provoke me not to anger with the works of your hands, and I will do you no hurt. Yet ye have not hearkened unto me, saith the Lord, that ye might provoke me to anger with the works of your hands to your own hurt. Therefore, thus saith the Lord of hosts, because of ye not heard my words, behold, I will send and take all the families of the north, saith the Lord, and Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babylon, my servant, and will bring them against this land, and against the inhabitants thereof, and against all these nations around about, and will utterly destroy them, and make them an astonishment, and hasten and perpetual desolation. Moreover, I will take from them the voice of mirth, and the voice of gladness, and the voice of bridegroom, and the voice of the bride, and the sounds of the milestone, and the light of the candle. And this whole land shall be a desolate and a astonishment. And these nations shall serve the king of Babylon 70 years. And it shall come to pass when 70 years are accomplished, that I will punish the king of Babylon and that nation, saith the Lord, for their iniquity, and the land of the Chaldeans, and will make it, perpetual desolate. And I will bring up upon that land all my works which I have pronounced against it, even all that is written in this book, which Jeremiah has prophesied against all the nations. For many nations and great kings shall serve themselves of them also, and I will recompense them according to their deeds and according to the works of their own hands. 15. For thus saith the Lord God of Israel unto me, take the wine cup of this fury at my hands, and cause all the nations to whom I sent thee to drink it. And they shall drink and be moved and be mad because of the sword that I will send among them. Then took I the cup at the Lord's hand, and made all the nations to drink unto whom the Lord had sent me, to wit, Jerusalem and the city of Judea and the king thereof, and the princes thereof, to make them a desolate and astonishment, and hasten and a curse as it is this day. Pharaoh, king of Egypt, and his servants and his prince, and all his people, and all the mangled people, and all the kings of the lands of Oz, and all the kings of the land of the Philistines, and Ashkelon, and I know y'all said this name earlier, Azar, Azar, and Ekron, and the remnant of Ashdod, Edom and Moab, and the children of Ammon, and all the kings of Titus, and all the kings of Zidon, and the king of Isles, which are beyond the seas, Dedon, and Tamar, and Buz, and all that are in the uttermost corners, all the kings of Arab, sorry, those names, Araba, and all the kings of mangled people that dwell in the desert, all the kings of Zemir, and all the kings of Elam, Elam, and all the kings of Medes, all the kings of the north, far and near, one with another, and all the kingdoms of the world, which are upon the face of the earth, and all the kings of Shishak, all shall drink after them. Therefore thou shalt say unto them, Thus saith the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, drink ye and be drunken, and spew, and fall and rise no more, because of the sword which I will send among you. And it shall be, if they refuse to take the cup that thy hand to drink, then shall thou say unto them, Thus saith the Lord of hosts, ye shall certainly drink. For lo, I began to bring the evil on the city in which is called by my name, and should ye be utterly unpunished, ye shall not be unpunished, for I will call for the sword upon all the inhabitants of the earth, saith the Lord of hosts. 30. Therefore prophesy thou against them all these words, and say unto them, The Lord shall roar from the high, and utter his voice from this holy habitation. He shall mighty roar upon the habitation, his habitation. He shall give a shout as they that thread the grapes against all the inhabitation of the earth. 31. A noise shall come even to the ends of the earth, for the Lord hath a controversy with the nations. He will plead with all flesh. He shall give them that are wicked to the sword, saith the Lord. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, Behold, evil shall go forth from nation to nation, and a great whirlwind, shall be rise up from the coast of the earth, and the slain of the Lord shall be at the day from one end to one end of the earth, even unto the another end of the earth. They shall not be lamented, neither gathered nor buried. They shall be drunk upon the ground. Hollow ye shepherds, and cry, and wallow yourselves in the ashes, ye principal of the flock. For the days of your slaughters and of your disappearance, no, I'm sorry, dispersions, and accomplished, and ye shall fall like a peasant vessel. 35. And the shepherd shall have no way to flee, nor the presence of the principle of the flock to escape. A voice of the cry of the shepherd, and a howling of the principle of the flock shall be heard, for the Lord has spoiled their pastures, and the peaceable inhabitations are cut down because of the fierce anger of the Lord. He has forsaken his covenant and the lion, for their land is desolate, and because of the fierceness of the oppressor, and because of his fierce and anger. That was chapter 25, 1 through 38.
Okay. So if you look at verse 15, it says, "Thus said the Lord God of Israel unto me, take the wine of the cup of his fury in my hand, and cause all the nations to whom I will send thee to drink it." So do that remind anybody of anything?
Well, that reminds me of when they were saying JC said, take this wine as my blood and drink it. Then he was saying about the bread to eat it of the body. That reminds me of that, but I believe he's talking about being violent and of anger.
You go to Revelations chapter 18. This is where the revelations came from, what we reading over here in Jeremiah. So Revelations 18. Okay.
Yes, sir. I'm there.
And you see verse 3. For all the nations have drunk for the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacy. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, Come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers in the sin, that ye receive not of her plagues, for her sins have reached unto heaven, and God have remembered her iniquities. Reward her even as she is rewarded, and double unto her according to the works wherein the cup which I have fulfilled, fill it to her double. So that's where it's coming from, right here, what we're reading over here. It actually happened over in Nebuchadnezzar. Israel was singing, and Jeremiah, he told Jeremiah to tell the people that Nebuchadnezzar was coming. And notice that he not only coming for the Israelites, but all the nations round about. So that's what Haggai is talking about. Let's look at it. Then I'm gonna come back and read some of that again. We go to Haggai chapter 2. Haggai chapter 2, verse 20. Haggai 2 and 20 says, and again the word of the Lord came unto Haggai in the 4th and 20th day of the month, saying, speak unto Zerubbabel, governor of Judah, saying, I will shake the heavens and the earth, and I will overthrow the thrones of the kingdoms, and I will start the strength of the kingdoms of the heathens, and I will overthrow the chariots and those that ride in them, and the horses and their riders shall come down, every one by his sword. So this is when they get ready to leave Babylon. But he did so in Zerubbabel is a sign. That's what verse 23 says. Haggai 2:23. At that time, this is when 7 years is up. At that time, said the Lord of hosts, I will take thee, Zerubbabel, my servant, the son of Shethel, said the Lord, and I will make thee a signet, for I have chosen thee, said the Lord. So he using, right here, he using Zerubbabel as the sign. So when he ran them out of Egypt, when he ran them out of Israel, Nebuchadnezzar was a sign. He used Nebuchadnezzar as a sign. See that?
Yes, sir.
So that's why it's saying in Jeremiah 25:15, for thus saith the Lord God of Israel unto me, take the wine cup of this fury at my hands, and cause all the nations to whom I will send thee to drink it. That's Nebuchadnezzar. And they shall drink, be moved, and be mad because of sword, Nebuchadnezzar's sword, that I will send among them. Then took I the cup at the Lord's hand, made all the nations to drink, to whom the Lord has sent me, to wit, Jerusalem, and the cities of Judah, and the kings thereof, and the princes thereof, to make them a desolation, and an astonishment, and a hissing, and a curse, as it is this day. Then he started listing them. The Pharaoh king, not just Jerusalem, the Pharaoh king of Egypt, and his servants, and his princes, and all his people, and all the mingled people, and all the kings of the land of Uz, and all the kings of the land of the Philistines, Ashkelon, Ahaz, Ezer, Ekron, and the remnant of Ashdod, Edom, Moab, and the children of Ammon, and all the kings of Tyrus. See that? This one Tyrus got destroyed right here. A lot of people don't see that, but this one that dwell in the desert, and all the kings of Zimmer, and all the kings of Elam, and all the kings of Medes, and all the kings of the north, far and near, one with another, and all the kingdoms of the world which are upon the face of the earth, and all the kings of Shishak shall drink after them. So this Nebuchadnezzar got the cup. So it wasn't just Israel. He punished everybody. He used Nebuchadnezzar to punish all the people. And that was the main thing, was to run the Israelites out, the good fig. He took them to Babylon, but his objective was to get the good fig out. Then he went to work on a wicked fig that was left in the land of Israel. And he did the same thing to them that he did to us when they came to the West Coast of Africa. Scattered us into all the four corners of the earth. So like I said before, when you understand who the Redeemer and the Savior of Israel is, this characteristics. What happened with the transatlantic slave trade ain't nothing new. He did it before. He did it with Nebuchadnezzar. He did it with Cyrus. He did it with Antiochus Epiphanes. Any comments? We're gonna stop right there on what that was, 26 or 25? 25?
Yeah, we was on 25, so we'll continue 26.
Okay. We'll stop right there. Anybody got any comments or any questions or anything before we close out? Something they want to bring up?
No, sir.
Everybody good? Okay.
Yes, sir. I'm good.
So tomorrow we got our advanced Bible study for the men. It's on Clubhouse. Non-Messianic Conversations is the name of the room. So I see everybody right there. You can come in and listen. It's men's night though. Shalom.
Shalom, shalom.
Shalom.
Shalom, everyone.